fooling the children, filling the head with Russian education.
It's 6:48 a.m. in Trinidad and Tobago. Our next conversation on the Now Morning Show is about the University of the West Indies hosting TalkTopia Java Camp from July 14th to 29th right here at the St. Augustine campus. Joining us in studio is Dr. Wanda Chesney, Lecturer of Communication Studies at the UWI, and Dr. Michelene Adams, Lecturer of Literatures in English at the UWI. Also, both parts, very important to say, of the well, I have it as culture and comms studies.
That's fine.
That's fine. There we go. Good morning and welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. Good morning.
It's a pleasure to have both of you on the show. Thank you for joining us on this beautiful, bright, early morning. I'm sure you're both, of course, used to the early mornings.
No.
Yeah.
No, I'm afraid not.
Well, we appreciate it, that is for sure. So let's start with the big picture. Doctor, we're going to start with you. What inspired the creation of TalkTopia, and what specifically makes it different from other July, August, or Java camps?
Well, TalkTopia was birthed out of a retreat that we had in February of this year, a departmental retreat for the Department of Literary, Cultural, and Communication Studies, where we looked at bridging the gap between the university and a number of communities. We thought about reconnecting in various ways where we can solve problems within communities by looking at projects, looking at relevant courses, looking at research. And this was one of the initiatives essentially that came up. And so what you see coming together here for TalkTopia now would have been a culmination of ideas from faculty within literature and communication studies. And, you know, we talked about it, we planned it, this was since in April, and here we are now.
You already answered one of my other questions, because I was going to ask, how long does something like this take? Because you've mentioned so many different components to this, and it's quite a dynamic mix of workshops. So, Michelene, let's come over to you. There's public speaking, I know there's podcasting, I'm sure there are many others as well. But how are these areas chosen particularly for the young people, and how do they support the holistic development?
Okay, so basically, the communications department is the public speaking and the podcasting.
Okay.
And then the literature people are going to handle the creative writing and the spoken word. Mm-hmm. So how are they chosen? Basically, two of them we think are really things that they would be excited about. Two a little less so, just because it has to do with school more than the other, if you understand what I mean, right? More directly school. But by the same token, they do need to develop their skills in public speaking and so on, and they'll be excited by the spoken word, I think, but they need the creative writing. But it all has to do with them learning to communicate a little more clearly, and also making connections between what they think is fun and exciting and things that they need in their academic life.
Something that definitely is a challenge, but also necessary, especially with the age group that you're looking at, that age group of 12 to 16. Doctor, was there a particular reason why this was the target age group for this?
Well, we wanted to be able to tap into the talents of the young people. A number of our children within that age group struggle with writing skills. And now in this age of AI, it's even worse, because now everyone is just prompt.
Yep.
They go to the prompt. So what we wanted to do was really to stimulate their interest at a very early age and enhance their writing and communication skills generally, writing and speaking, so that as they go through school, so let's say we get some 12, 13, 14, 15, the benefits will redound to their performance at school as well. And so we're hoping to be able to make an impact in that area. And so we're starting this program this year, and we want to continue every year so that we can enhance. Yeah.
Okay, so this is the inaugural program.
This is the inaugural one.
So we're seeing let's say the short-term impacts. We're also seeing long-term as well. We're looking at education, going back to school, being able to learn. But what about even further than that? Because, of course, now we look at the UWI. So what long-term implications do you think we can look forward to? Positive ones?
Well, one of the things that I think will be worthwhile is for them to actually be on the campus and, like see the environment, feel and realize it's not something totally scary. And to work with us in that kind of fashion as well. I think that will be helpful to them and hopefully draw some of them to register eventually.
Agreed, especially as you mentioned, scary, because it can be quite daunting. I remember as a teenager having to go on city campus and just being completely blown away by the size and all of that. All right, so let's speak a little bit more about the upcoming Java Camp, specifically the instructors and what participants can expect in terms of mentorship, which does set it apart from some other camps, Doctor.
Well, what is unique about this camp is that this is not just a camp where you send your children so they run about and play. This is a very practical camp. And so the instructors, Dr. Michelene Adams, for example, is one of the instructors that will be teaching on creative writing. She teaches both the undergraduate and the graduate students.
Okay.
And so here it is now, she's transforming, in a way, that program to cater to these young people. We have doctoral faculty, we have some of our PhD students that will be teaching on the program, and we have our current undergraduate students, final year students, who are serving as facilitators. Because what we plan, the whole mode of delivery is that they will get hands-on. So for podcasting, they're going to go through the whole phases so that should they so desire, they'll be able to establish themselves as podcasters. We're going to teach them how to do interviews. They're going to have a sense how to come up with these ideas, build themes, and the whole works. Similarly for creative writing, of course, Dr. Adams could tell.
It's me, and I'll be teaching, and as well, one of our PhD students who's also a lecturer. And both of us have masters in creative writing. And as far as the spoken word, I keep forgetting that term for some reason. We have the dynamic Daron Sandy, who everybody knows. So he will be doing these spoken word workshops.
And Dr. Adams, are you excited about this?
I'm excited. I'm a little bit apprehensive, but that's how I am, just because of the age group. Because of the age group.
I think it's completely understandable.
But I think it should work out because of the various personalities that will be involved.
I think it's quite exciting as well, as you mentioned, the personalities, the age groups as well, but also the dynamics of the mentors, having students who are currently on campus being able to interact and really give that push. But I know there's something very special that everybody looks forward to. We still look forward to it as adults when we, of course, have the time to go. We get to, which are field trips. I know you can't give too much away, Doctor, but if you could just indulge us a little bit.
Michelene, you want to tell her about
Sure.
the
Essentially, what to be honest, what we've done is we have talked to National Trust because we figured they could handle it.
Yeah.
So it's at an extra cost, though.
Okay.
But the National Trust, we've been talking to them about the kinds of things they think that age group would appreciate, and also what could be done within a day.
Yeah.
And we haven't decided which of them, but we have a few different possible options that I think will be very educational, but also fun. That I think will dovetail with what they're learning in the classrooms with us.
Yeah, definitely. And it also beautifully marries with, as you would have referenced earlier, the AI and the fact that many times now we do see many children just behind their devices. So being able to get out, know your country, and learn a little bit more. Now, this, very exciting, that I can only imagine those spots must be going very quickly. So for parents who are interested in getting their children registered, where can we get more information, Doctor?
Well, they can come to our website, UWISTA, so that's UWI. STA_LCCS, and that's on Instagram. You go to any of the university's web pages and go to LCCS. You're going to find our flyer there. We also have a flyer. And on the flyer, I don't know if you can zoom in. On the flyer, there's the QR code, and the registration form is right on the QR code. As soon as you scan it, it comes up and you register. It's instant.
Wonderful. So the information is there on your screen. Dr. Adams and Dr. Chesney, thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's been a pleasure. Looking forward to the next installments of TalkTopia, which we know are going to happen. And all the best, and enjoy the field trips as well.
Oh, of course. Thank you so much.
TalkTopia Java Camp is happening from July 14th to 29th right here in Trinidad and Tobago at the UWI St. Augustine campus. Stay tuned. There's more coming up after this break.
Fooling the children, filling the head with wash education. Talk, you mocking pretender. I check your lyrics and I come for test.